sitting on the front porch, as I have been doing pretty much every day on fall break, at least one time a day to read. This is my favorite place to read. And it is kind of rainy today. I'm going to show you. Here's the rain's coming down. It's kind of peaceful, kind of nice. The perfect ambience. And I have picked up Kingdom of the Wicked. So this is a book that I received in the bookish box for October of 2020, and I just never got around to reading it, but it seems like it might be the perfect spooky Halloween October book that I've been really wanting to read. I've just kind of been in that mood for reading and kind of want something with that vibe, so it's something about witches and yeah, so I don't know. I really don't know much about it, but I've heard really great things about it. I know that Kingdom of the Curse is coming out soon, if it's not already out, and I'm going to get ready and dig into it. So here we go. This is what my reading vlog is going to be about today. Okay, so I am about 50 pages in. I think I'm actually on page 53. I'm on chapter 7. Getting ready to start chapter 7, and just wanted to give you an update. So I am like really into this book. Like, this is the perfect October book, it seems like. So we have two main characters. They're twins, Amelia and Victoria, and they are witches. They belong to a family of witches, and their grandma, Nana, is kind of like their witchy mentor. And she has a lot of superstitions and warnings and things for them to kind of protect them, because there was like a prophecy, I guess, kind of, that the 4 demon princes that they need to look out for are going to enter the world if they take off their amulets. And their Nana doesn't know that when they were 8, they actually had a moment where Victoria had taken off her amulet and handed it to Amelia. And there's something about how the amulets are not ever supposed to touch. Like, they're not supposed to, I don't know what that means, but ever since that moment, they heard a hellhound howl at that moment, and Amelia has had this power where she is able to kind of see an aura around different people other than her sister. Her sister's the only one. And so it's really just a lot of world building and just kind of building up this story. They are Italian, and I will say that it has definitely made me want some Italian food because they own a restaurant, and it talks a lot about how they're cooking and like the types of food that they make. That's kind of Amelia's talent and her mother's talent as well. Her mother was witch born, but she never gained any supernatural abilities, but she talks about how her mother's cooking, her baking is like her supernatural ability, which I think is kind of cool. My arm's getting tired. And it's getting really intense where I'm at right now because, and I don't think this is a secret, I don't really think this is a spoiler because we're only 50 pages in, but Amelia finds her sister murdered. So she finds Victoria murdered, and when she finds her, there's this dark-haired man standing over her, and he pulls his hand out from the sheet that's covering her, and there's blood on it, and he licks it. And it makes me think that he's one of the demon princes that their Nana has been warning them about, because she said that one of the demon princes drinks their blood. So that's kind of what made me think of that. So I think the demon princes have actually entered the world, and before she found Victoria murdered, there were 2 other witches that had been murdered as well, and so that was supposed to be like a sign or an omen that the demon princes have entered the world and have come seeking out vengeance for this blood debt that apparently her family had against the devil. They had stolen something from the devil, and so the devil was supposed to send his demon princes to get it back, I think is what it's supposed to be. But yeah, it's getting really good. So there's lots of questions about why Victoria was murdered and what she was doing. She was wearing a dress that Amelia had never seen before, and said that she would have had to have saved up a lot to be able to buy herself. And it was white and kind of looked like a wedding dress, so she thought maybe she was sneaking out and getting married with this guy that she knew Victoria had been flirting with. So there's just lots of questions right now about what happened exactly to Victoria. And the man who was standing over her body did leave behind a dagger that had a serpent or snake wrapped around it with lavender or purple eyes. And that was the only clue that she really has about who he was, and she's on the hunt to find him. It kind of seems like where it's at right now. So it is really good. I'm definitely sucked into it. I can't wait to read more, but I do think that it's time for me to grab something to eat, and hopefully here in a little while I'll have another chance to sit down and have a good reading session and get more into this book, and I will update you then when that time comes. Hey guys, so it's about 10 o'clock tonight, and I'm finally getting ready to settle down and read some more of Kingdom of the Wicked, and I am waiting for an update for Call of Duty to take place, so I'm going to read a little bit while that's updating. Looks like it's a kind of a big one, so it's going to take a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and read some more while I can before that gets ready. So let's go ahead and dig into it. I'm excited to open it back up and see what happens. I am now around page 100. I'm getting ready to start chapter 14. And yeah, so a lot has happened since the last time I stopped and gave an update. So we did find out that the man who was over Victoria's body was one of the demon princes, one of the wicked. He is Prince Wrath, or Prince from the house Wrath, I guess. So I guess that each prince has his own house, and they are based on the 7 deadly sins. So his is Wrath, and so basically Amelia found out that her sister had sealed her diary with some kind of dark magic that she was unable to break, and that she had some grimoire pages with a summoning spell, so she assumed that her sister had been trying to summon a demon. So she attempted to do that as well, to get the demon to help her break into her sister's journal so she can figure out where her sister was and what she was doing, so that she could try to figure out who her murderer was. And when she summoned a demon, she spoke part of the spell in Latin, and basically said that the demon that she summoned would be required to protect her for eternity. So she ended up summoning the Prince of Wrath, which he says to call him Wrath, that they can't tell their true name, so that's what she is to call him. And in doing so, she has kind of bound herself to him. So now they both have a tattoo on their arm, binding to each other. And he is trying to convince her to do a blood trade, or blood bond, I guess is what he called it, which would require him to protect her. And he would be able to know when she was in danger and in need of his protection. And she has refused it, but he is stuck in the summoning circle for 3 days. So she's getting ready to go back and check on him to make sure he's still in the summoning circle. And I have a feeling, I don't really know, but I have a feeling that maybe she will end up accepting his blood bond. And I'm definitely getting some enemies to lovers vibes here, between the two of them, because she obviously does not like him, and she is showing him that, because she did believe that he was, her sister's killer, but through talking to him, it seems like he's not, and he is actually out to find out who murdered Victoria as well. But he also is not a fan of her and thinks that she is just a silly fledgling witch that doesn't know what she's doing. So they kind of have this tension going on, but you can definitely tell, like, in her thoughts, that she's attracted to him. So I definitely feel like we're going to be, this will be an enemies to lovers trope. I'm not for sure. I really haven't heard a lot about this book, so I'm not sure if that's true or not. It's just kind of the hint that I'm getting right now. So yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to. I will say, I feel like this whole blood bond and summoning the Prince of Wrath, I feel like that's a little bit, convenient. And I feel like if he truly is a demon, a prince of hell, that he would not be so easily controlled by such a young witch. So I'm not sold on that yet, and I feel like that might be where the plot falls flat for me. So I'm hoping that we get more into that and find out that there's things that he has hidden, because he seems a little innocent right now to be a demon prince. I would think that he would be very manipulative and untrustworthy, and right now he seems very noble, which is really weird. So I'm really not understanding that completely, but we're only 100 pages in and we've got over 300 pages left. So I'm hoping that that changes and that there's lots of plot twists and turns, and that we find out that he's not quite as truthful as he is letting on, and not as trustworthy as he's letting on, being a prince of wrath. So yeah, so that's where my thoughts are right now, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this story unfold and see what direction it goes in.